In part two of the lecture on advertising, I'm going to provide you with a profile of the major media types, show you some creative examples using alternative media, and then cover the elements of sales promotion and public relations. In selecting the type of media to use, the first thing you have to think about is your audience. Who you're trying to reach. Who's the target market? Where are they getting their media? What media are they consuming? Are they watching newspapers? Are they reading newspapers? Are they watching television? Are they susceptible to reading direct mail, or what we call junk mail, I guess? How often and what radio stations do they listen to? So there's the advantages and disadvantages of each of these. One of the things, for example, with newspapers, it's very flexible, and it can be its timeliness, because you can get an ad placed in the next day or two in a local newspaper without any trouble. It's very hard to do that in other types of media because of the long lead time that's required. Newspapers also are very local and have some level of believability to them because of the local nature. However, they have a very short life, and we read the newspaper and then we recycle the newspaper. Generally, they're not passed along. I don't read my newspaper and give it to somebody else to read, except somebody in the household perhaps. And the reproduction quality is not going to be as high as, say, a magazine. The other advantages and disadvantages of major media types are listed here, and I'll allow you to stop and read those at your leisure. But oftentimes, it requires a little bit more than just a newspaper ad or maybe a television commercial. Sometimes you can do things with a very creative element, such as what a zoo did here in wrapping one of the local city buses. I mean, if you look at this is going to catch your attention if it's going down the street. Here are a few other major media types along with their advantages and disadvantages. And one of the things that you'll notice is that there's something that's really getting a little bit dated, which is yellow pages, the physical yellow pages that we get delivered to our house every year. Although they have excellent local coverage and good believability, very low cost, oftentimes, I mean, when's the last time you actually used a yellow page, the book itself, to look up something? We're going right straight to the internet now because all the information is readily at our fingertips. So things are changing. Media types are changing. Newspapers are struggling. Some newspapers have gone to 2- and 3-day weeks, where before they were 7-day weeks. So keeping up with all of the changes in media is very critical for marketers, especially in the advertising realm. Some of the alternative advertising media, or what we call place media, or even out-of-home advertising, is a broad category including many creative and unexpected forms that can grab consumers' attention. The rationale is that marketers are better off reaching people where they work, play, and of course shop. Popular options include billboards, public spaces, product placement, and point of purchase. Public spaces are where advertisers have been increasingly placing ads in very unconventional places, such as movie screens, on airplanes, and fitness clubs, as well as in classrooms, arenas, elevators, and the like. Billboard-type posters are also showing up everywhere. Transit ads on buses, subways, and commuter trains have been around for years, have become a valuable way to reach working women. Street furniture, or bus shelters, kiosks, public areas, is another fast-growing option. Product placement is another thing that has gained a lot of attention because many of you, I'm assuming, are like me, and you have maybe a DVR or some type of video recording system for what you're watching on television. When a commercial comes on, I generally don't watch the commercials. I just zap right past it to what I want to watch. So marketers are having to turn to things like product placement, getting the people inside the show to actually use the product. And marketers are paying upwards of $100,000 to as much as $500,000 so that their products will make cameo appearances in movies and on television. Some placements are the result of a larger networking advertising deal, but other times they are the work of small product placement shops or agencies that maintain ties with prop masters, set designers, and production executives. Point of purchase display, one of the appeals here is that the advertising lies in the fact that many product categories, consumers make their final decision at the store. So if I can put a little ad or a little shelf talker, as they are called, in the store, I have another opportunity to convince somebody to buy my product. And there are many ways to communicate with consumers at the point of purchase. Sometimes in-store advertising includes ads on the shopping cart or in the aisle, even on the floor of the aisle, as well as the shelves. And you also have things like in-store demonstrations, live sampling, and instant coupon machines that basically are allowed to, provide the consumer with a little discount in terms of a sales promotion. Billboards have been around for a very long time, but they have recently become transformed and are now becoming available in digitally produced graphics. You have basically a television screen that's 80 feet wide. So again, these are changing. The only problem there with this video type billboard is that if we're driving in a car, we really don't have time to watch or look and see what's happening when a billboard is changing. The next couple of slides are just some examples of what creative elements can go to work when we're using out-of-home advertising. For example, we've got the Mr. Peanut from Planters as a hot air balloon that tours the country going to hot air balloon festivals. We have the smart car. This was just put on the street, built like that, and again, people walking by, they noticed it, and it's pretty catchy. There's also, for example, I thought this one was really cute. Going to a bowling alley, dental implants. Well, that looks very much like missing teeth. Well, that's what dental implants are supposed to cure. But the only problem here is you're reaching a very limited and small audience. You also have things like here, you got a trash pile and a box with a Mini Cooper came in. Again, creative, gets people's attention, and again, that's what advertising is supposed to do. So to wrap up advertising, in selecting the specific media, the planner or the decider must know what the size of the media the audience is for either the television show or the magazine or the newspaper. What's the composition of the audience? Who's it made of? And of course, how much it costs. For example, if for a pet food marketer trying to reach a large audience is only beneficial if a large enough number of the audience are pet owners. So the cost to reach the audience, though, through a specific media vehicle must be weighed against other media vehicles as well. So let's say I have two magazines. One is going to reach 100,000 people, and a full-page ad costs me $20,000. I have another magazine that's going to reach kind of the same audience, but it only reaches 50,000 people, and it's $12,000. Well, if you look at it, that first magazine that was giving me 100,000 viewers for 20,000 might be a better option, might be a better deal in the long run. But as mentioned earlier in the first lecture, according to the ADA model, advertising can only take the process so far. I need something else. I need a little bit more in terms of marketing bullets, if you will, to take a consumer from getting their awareness and interest to getting their desire and getting them to take action. This is where sales promotion come in. Sales promotion are a key ingredient in most marketing campaigns, and they consist of a collection of incentive tools, mostly short-term, designed to stimulate quicker and greater purchase of particular products or services by consumers or the trade. Where advertising offers a reason to buy, sales promotion offers an incentive to buy. And sales promotion include tools for consumer promotion, such as samples, coupons, cash refunds, price off, different types of awards, to trade promotions, again, price off to the trade, to the retailer, advertising and display allowance, and also free goods. And then there's business and sales force promotion, such as using trade shows and conventions, contests for the sales reps, and specialty item products, or what we call swag. And thinking about the objectives that we use with sales promotion, the tools, whatever tool we choose, is going to generate a specific or meet a specific objective. For example, a free sample stimulates consumer trial, whereas a free management advisory service can help cement a long-term relationship with a retailer. And sellers use incentive-type promotions to attract new triers, to reward loyal customers, and to increase the repurchase rate for occasional users. Sales promotions, though, often attract brand switchers who are primarily looking for a low price, good value, or some type of premium. If some of them would not be otherwise tied to the brand, promotion can only yield long-term increases in market share. So what I'm basically trying to say here is that if you get a customer based on your price, they will leave you because of price. So if your competitor comes up with a better price, they're going to switch as well. So you have to be careful how you're using objectives. And oftentimes marketers will use an objective or a tool, if you will, to meet an objective, but it's only in the short term. That's one of the drawbacks, in my opinion, of sales promotion. It doesn't build any type of loyalty. So in making decisions about the sales promotion, companies have to establish what are the objectives that we want to have. What are the tools? Are we going to go the consumer route, the trade route, or the Salesforce elements? We have to develop the program that's going to work. We need to pre-test this program, then implement it and control it, and finally evaluate, did it work? That's one of the good things that you can say about a coupon. If I put 10 million coupons out in Sunday papers across the country, I will know exactly how effective it was by the number of coupons that I receive. But that's one of the problems we have with advertising. I could throw an ad out on the Super Bowl, for example, that's got 300 million viewers. How many people actually remembered it? How many people actually saw it? If you watch the Super Bowl in February, what commercials do you remember? I can only think of one, and it was a commercial I really didn't like, and that was the Puppy Monkey Baby. Really hate that commercial. Here's kind of a listing, if you will, of all the major consumer promotion tools. Again, samples, coupons, price off, premiums, prizes, free trial. For example, you can go into the store and buy one product and it's got a sample or a trial size attached to it for one of their other products. So there's all these different ways that we can stimulate desire and hopefully action from consumers by using different type of promotional tools. Trade promotions, though, basically fall into the area of free stuff, either free money, a discount, free goods, display allowances, advertising allowances, things like this. An advertising allowance is where a manufacturer will go to a retailer, such as, say, Walmart, and say, okay, you're going to put out an ad in Sunday's paper every week or so. We want our product to be featured in that ad and to your flyer. We're going to pay you X number of dollars. Now, typically when we're paying X number of dollars, it's going to be generally cents off invoice or dollars off invoice. So it's basically an allowance that I'm going to give you straight off the bottom line of how much I'm selling you. But marketers can also use other elements besides advertising and sales promotion to connect with customers. We can use different types of events and experiences. Here, when we're thinking about an event and experience, we're trying to identify our product with the target market. We're trying to connect our product with who is, we're trying to reach. Oftentimes, it gives me great exposure to the brand. It can reinforce a brand image. It can evoke feelings and hopefully express some type of commitment, especially if I'm connecting myself to a worthy cause. I can use it to entertain clients and reward employees. And there's always different types of merchandising and promotional opportunities. When I think about an event and an experience, oftentimes we're looking at some of the different types of elements that are out there. For example, sporting events. I can sponsor a golf tournament, or I can sponsor a college football game or something like that. I'm getting my name out there consistently during the season, or during the golf tournament, or during the bowl season. The money that marketers allocate toward events and experiences, about 68% go to sports. Cause marketing gets about 9%, entertainment about 10%. Here's where we may be sponsoring a band's tour or something. The arts get about 5%, and certain types of festivals another 5%. So here's some examples. Again, you got the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am. You got the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. All of these different things that you have that companies are attaching themselves to the events, and it oftentimes, if you are capturing in your product connects well with the customer or connects well with the participant or the viewer of that event, it can be a very positive thing. Think about NASCAR. I mean, if you look at any of the cars on the track, they've got advertising splashed all over them. Where events and experiences allow a company to relate to their customers. They must also relate to a larger number of the interested public, the stakeholders, if you will. And the public is any group that has an actual or potential interest or impact in a company's ability to achieve its objectives. Oftentimes we use PR in forums to make our company maybe stand out, make people aware of our company, highlight some of the benefits and some of the wonderful things that we do as an organization. And public relations includes a variety of different programs that can be used to promote or protect a company's image or even its individual products. For example, we can use press relations, presenting news and information about the organization in the most positive light, of course. Publicity about our products. Here we can sponsor efforts to publicize specific products. We can use lobbying to go to government officials to get maybe things in a way that are beneficial to us, and other things that we can use in our public relations. We have to continuously monitor attitudes. How are people feeling about our product? If something goes wrong in the public, if we've maybe had a product recall or there was some type of issue with our company or one of our products, we need to know about it as quickly as possible. A good PR team will stay on top of this stuff and make sure that we can find a way to minimize some of the damages. But I can always also use it in a positive light. For example, let's take a look at this commercial. All your friends, they hate your goods right inside. I found that to be a very powerful commercial. It'll stick with us. But will the brand name stick with you? That's going to be an interesting question. Okay, so in wrapping this up, marketing public relations is something that many companies turn to support their corporate or product promotion and image making. NPR, just like any other PR, serves a special consistency, basically the marketing department. It used to be called, we would call this publicity, and our job was to kind of secure editorial space as opposed to paid space in print and broadcast media to promote, or I guess we could call it even hype a product, idea, person, or an organization. All right, so that's the wrap up of our advertising and promotional element. Next, we're going to talk about the place element of the marketing mix, or the distribution element.